America in the Trump era, economic crisis, social upheaval, and the survival path of the middle-class workforce. A philosophical study on the American working and middle class in their prime working years, 30 to 45, amidst recent shifts in social values. Part 1. The Burden of Life. Understanding the Crisis. The years between 30 and 45 are often considered the most fruitful period in a person's life. It is a time when one has accumulated enough experience and skills, yet still possesses abundant energy to contribute to society and build a future for oneself. However, for the working class and middle class populations in the United States, especially in sectors such as healthcare, education, services, and trade, recent years have witnessed a profound crisis. Soaring living costs, increasingly precarious jobs, and escalating mental and physical pressures. Under the leadership of President Donald Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, and Secretary of Efficiency Elon Musk, U.S. policies have undergone significant changes, presenting both new challenges and opportunities. 1. The economic storm, when instability becomes the rule. In the early months of 2025, the U.S. economy saw rapid growth thanks to corporate tax cuts, domestic production incentives, and increased investments in technology. However, this growth has been uneven across industries and social classes. Healthcare. Private hospitals have expanded, but public health policies have faced significant budget cuts. Healthcare workers are required to work harder, with wages failing to match their increased workload. New regulations regarding health insurance have made it more difficult for patients to access services. Education. Budget cuts have put teachers under immense pressure, forcing them to teach larger classes with fewer resources. Specifically, the new administration's education policy is pushing privatization, which has led many public schools into a crisis. Services. As businesses cut costs to maintain profitability, workers are asked to do more with the same pay. The rise in part-time jobs and short-term contracts has left many without financial stability. Commerce. While certain protectionist policies help shield American businesses from foreign competition, retail trade and small businesses still struggle in the face of the expansion of large corporations and automation technology. This situation leads to an ironic paradox. Despite economic growth, the majority of workers feel that life is becoming increasingly difficult. So, what should be done when the system no longer guarantees stability as it once did? 2. Philosophy in facing the crisis, standing firm amidst the storm. Philosophy has long provided answers to turbulent periods like this. Marcus Aurelius, the great Roman emperor and philosopher, once said, "The obstacle in the path becomes the path. What stands in the way becomes the way forward." This means that instead of complaining or doubting, we must see difficulties as opportunities for growth. Workers in the 30 to 45 age group can no longer rely on a stable social safety net as in the past. They need to devise their own strategies to adapt and survive. Quick reaction thinking. When jobs are threatened by layoffs or automation, workers need to continually update their skills to maintain a competitive edge. Developing financial thinking. Instead of relying solely on one source of income, learning how to invest, save, and seek small business opportunities is crucial. Building support networks. During crises, connections between workers can create new solutions, from sharing job opportunities and financial assistance to negotiating benefits together. In his book Anti-Fragile, Nassim Nicholas Taleb argues that the strongest systems are not those that avoid harm, but those that grow stronger because of adversity. American workers also need this mindset, not only surviving, but using the crisis as a springboard for growth. 3. The role of personal development thinking in a chaotic era. Faced with the rapid changes in the economy and society, workers in their prime years must realize that stability is no longer a given. Instead of feeling lost, they should focus on personal development. Continuous learning. The skills that were crucial yesterday may become obsolete tomorrow. Constant learning ensures that we maintain value in the labor market. Changing views on work. Work is no longer just a means to earn money, but a platform for creating value and connection. Seeking meaning in work. Workers can find motivation in serving their communities, helping others, or simply becoming a better version of themselves each day. Jesus Christ once said, "Whoever finds their life will lose it, and whoever loses their life for my sake will find it." In today's context, this can be understood as those who cling to old stability will be left behind, but those who are willing to change will find new opportunities and growth. The new administration in the United States brings both opportunities and challenges. Workers in the 30 to 45 age group, particularly in healthcare, education, services, and trade, are at a significant crossroads. They can either continue waiting for a better system or accept the reality, build strategies for personal development, and seek new paths to adapt. Change is never easy, but as Nietzsche once said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." If we have a clear purpose, no matter how the world changes, we can stand firm. Part 2, Reinvention and Adaptability, the Art of Survival. When faced with a rapidly changing world, people cannot simply stand by and wait for stability to return. They must become quick adapters, continuously reinventing themselves in order to survive and thrive. But how can this be achieved? 1. The cost of passivity. When waiting becomes the greatest enemy. Many workers today fall into the trap of passivity. They believe that the government or some other force will restore things to how they were, that the job market will stabilize, and that welfare systems will be reinstated. However, history has proven the opposite. Change does not stop, and those who are slow to adapt will be left behind. A prime example is the collapse of factories in the Rust Belt during the 1980s and 1990s. As the steel industry declined, millions of workers lost their jobs. Many stubbornly waited for a miracle, hoping that the factories would reopen, but that never happened. Only those who successfully transitioned their skills to other sectors, such as technology or services, were able to continue growing. In modern society, with the rise of artificial intelligence and automation, this lesson is more urgent than ever. No job is truly secure. Even professions like doctors, teachers, or service workers, jobs once considered irreplaceable, are now under pressure from technology. Those who wait without taking action will quickly be left behind. 2. The art of adaptation, how to become a stronger individual. Ancient Roman Stoic philosophy offers an important principle. Control what you can control and accept what you cannot change. This is the key to adapting to a rapidly changing world. There are 3 core elements that help workers and the middle class aged 30 to 45 successfully adapt. A. Developing flexible skills. No longer can one rely on a lifetime of stable employment. Workers must continuously expand their skill sets. This doesn't necessarily mean returning to university to earn a new degree, but simply learning additional skills, such as a teacher might learn how to teach online to reach a broader market. A nurse could learn more about healthcare technology to avoid being replaced by machines. A salesperson might study e-commerce to avoid becoming dependent on traditional stores. A willingness to change. The most successful individuals are not the best at what they do, but those who are open to experimenting and changing. This means not fearing new roles, even if they are lower than one's current position. Not being afraid to learn from younger generations who are leading technological trends. Not getting stuck in outdated thinking, but being willing to break personal boundaries. A strong financial mindset. One of the biggest mistakes made by the working class is relying on a single source of income. In a world where jobs can be replaced at any time, diversifying income is essential. Smart investing. Instead of just saving, learn about investments, from stocks, real estate, to small businesses. Creating additional income streams. This could be a part-time job, a personal project, or an online business. Strategic saving. Save not only for spending, but also to invest in yourself through learning and self-development. 3. Reinventing oneself from survival to thriving. Once adaptability is achieved, the next step is to thrive. Workers don't just want to survive, they want to succeed and live a better life. To do this, they need to build a personal brand. It's no longer enough to just work hard. In a competitive world, those with a strong personal brand will have more opportunities. Build strategic relationships. Success doesn't only come from personal skills, but also from the people you know. Connect with like-minded individuals, learn from them, and grow together. Constantly challenge yourself. Always set new goals, try new things, and never be satisfied with your current position. The key to surviving and thriving in this era is not waiting for stability to return, but proactively adapting, reinventing, and developing oneself. Individuals aged 30 to 45 in the working and middle classes have two choices: either be overwhelmed by changes or rise up and turn challenges into opportunities. As Charles Darwin once said, "It is not the strongest or the most intelligent who will survive, but those who can best adapt." American workers must adopt this mindset. Instead of waiting, take action. Part 3, Rising Up, Creating a Life Worth Living. After understanding the crisis and learning how to adapt, the next step for the American is not just to survive, but to rise up and create a better life. To achieve this, we cannot stop at passive coping, but must proactively build a long-term, sustainable path for growth. 1. Identifying and seizing opportunities in the new era. Under the Trump administration, with policies focused on economic efficiency and technology, opportunities did not disappear. They simply changed form. Those who understood this trend had a significant advantage. A. Technology and automation. Enemy or ally? One of the biggest fears among the working class is being replaced by machines. But instead of fearing, workers need to ask themselves, how can they turn technology into a tool that supports them? Healthcare. Nurses and doctors can use AI to assist with diagnoses, improving efficiency. Education. Teachers can apply online teaching technology to reach more students. Service and commerce. Workers can learn how to run online stores instead of relying solely on traditional shops. B. The gig economy, an irreversible trend. Many Americans are shifting toward the gig economy model, working freelance on a project basis rather than committing long-term to a company. This offers more flexible income and reduces dependence on a single job. A teacher can tutor through platforms like Udemy or Coursera. A salesperson can run a business on Amazon or Etsy. A technician can take freelance projects through Upwork or Fiverr. Those who leverage the gig economy will have multiple income streams and won't be as vulnerable to market fluctuations. 2. Redefining success. Life isn't just about money. Many American workers are feeling the pressure of modern life, overworking, and a lack of balance between work and personal life. But is success only about earning more money? In his book, The Psychology of Money, author Morgan Housel argues that financial freedom is more important than a high salary. A person who makes $150,000 a year but is in debt and has no time for family may be less happy than someone who makes $70,000 a year but has the freedom to enjoy life. For a truly fulfilling life, workers need to restructure spending, cut unnecessary expenses to gain more freedom, spend time with family and yourself. Work is important, but mental health and personal relationships are more important. Seek meaningful work. A job should not only be about earning money, it should bring value and joy. 3. The power of community. No one succeeds alone. One of the biggest mistakes among the American working class is trying to overcome hardships alone, rather than leveraging the power of community. As the economy changes, those who know how to connect will have an advantage over those who go it alone. A. Supporting each other within the same industry. Teachers can form support groups to share teaching experiences and learning materials. Healthcare workers can collaborate to fight for better working conditions. Small business owners can cooperate rather than compete to reduce costs and increase profits. B. Leveraging networks to find new opportunities. Many American workers fail to find jobs not because they lack skills, but because they lack a strong network. Take the time to connect with colleagues, attend professional events, and use LinkedIn to expand opportunities. C. Local communities, an overlooked resource. In many cities, there are numerous organizations that support workers in finding jobs, learning new skills, or starting businesses. Instead of relying solely on the federal government, workers should turn to these organizations to tap into local resources. Conclusion: the future belongs to those who dare to change. In this era of volatility, no one can secure the future for you except yourself. Governments may change, economies may fluctuate, but those who know how to adapt, seize opportunities, and build their lives in their own way will always succeed. As philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche once said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." If American workers clearly define their goals, not just making money, but creating a life worth living, they will find a way to overcome any challenge. Change is not easy, but it is inevitable. The question is not how America is changing, but how will you change to become the best version of yourself?